Welcome back. It would be an understatement to suggest that Fool Me Once is becoming more intriguing. Episode 3 significantly raises the stakes by throwing curveballs left and right, including a massive one at the very end that comes out of nowhere. It's nearly impossible to determine who might be responsible, why, or with whom they might have been sleeping or working in a whodunit like this one, which is rare. It seems like everyone is hiding something. Anyone might be guilty of anything, and it's a waste of time to try to predict what will happen next. Pressing the play button for the subsequent episode is far simpler. Although most people dislike their mother-in-law, Judith is an absolute misery, even by the norm. For some reason, she has been paying off the main detective looking into the murder of her favorite child, even though only 2 of her children are believed to be dead and the other children are unsure of how they died or even if they are dead at all. What the heck is happening here? To be fair, Maya's family isn't all that much better. As Abby and Daniel peruse the images they had created in episode 2, they come across yet another hint that refers to the montage that concluded the previous episode. Her 2003 baby daddy, who may possibly have been the guy she was speaking with on a covert burner phone, may have left the sunflowers with the letter. Daniel looks up the guy's photo on an app and uses it to identify him in the present. The CEO of Bimble, a massive tech company, is Alexander Dawsman. He moved to the local office 8 months ago. Even though Eddie had an alibi for Claire's murder, Kearse and McGregor once again comb through their ever-growing evidence board and choose to focus on Eddie as a possible suspect in Joe's murder. Kearse has finally sought medical attention for his recurrent blackouts, but aside from that, he's keeping things close to the vest, having other people drive, and sticking to his tale that the cat caused his crash. However, Kearse's health appears to be deteriorating. When they go see Eddie, he nearly passes out, both coming out of the car and going out of the house, and McGregor notices it both times. Eddie proves to be a suspect in Joe's murder, and his alibi that he was at the gym the night Joe was slain doesn't really stand up, so the trip isn't for nothing. Eva is informed by Meyer about Claire's burner phone calls to the arcade. She chooses to go back and check on who's hanging around after realizing that all of the calls were placed early in the morning, before business opened. As soon as she arrives, she recognizes the red Volkswagen that has been pursuing her. Before the employee she chatted with on her previous visit, who now seems suspicious, shoos her away, she successfully plants a tracker on it. Maya remains until someone enters the Volkswagen and leaves. She follows, which is stupid on a few levels because she's doing it in her own car, which the other driver would see, and it defeats the purpose of first attaching anything to the car. She tells Shane to keep an eye on the tracker she set, but the VW gives her the slip very easily. He decides to investigate Kearse when she also tells him about the bribery. While Meyer is teaching a helicopter piloting session, Shane locates the automobile and finds that the VW is less than a mile away. Thus, she assumes control of the helicopter and follows the car from the air in front of her somewhat perplexed client. She comically abandons the learner, who has an appointment with a dentist in an hour, sitting inside the chopper after losing sight of it and landing it in a clearing in the forest. Meyer is attacked in the woods by a handful of guys who work for the VW driver, who happens to be Corey the Whistle. He's been in communication with Claire ever since she contacted him to ask him to withhold the audio of the tape exposing Maya. He operates out of a covert wood refuge. He consented, but in return, he exploited her to obtain confidential information belonging to Burkett Global. Corey believes that Joe and Claire were both slain because they discovered the same important information. The Burketts have been paying Tommy Dark for 26 years, and he is the key player in this massive secret. Dark manages a security company for a shipping corporation, but Claire couldn't find any information about him because he is a shifty person. Joe had made plans to see Corey face to face after reaching out to him, but he was assassinated before he could, giving the information to Meyer in the hopes that she will be more successful in her investigation of Dark than Corey has been. Corey explains that he wants to exact revenge on Claire for her death since during their short time together, he got close to her. Additionally, he informs her that he must meet with her right away if she receives a missed call from the arcade. When Maya visits the shipyard where Dark works, she is greeted by an extremely resentful assistant who informs her that Dark has taken a leave of absence, that she is owed 2 months' salary, and that neither Maya nor Claire, whom she knows from the picture Maya shows her, had an appointment. Luckily, she has made the decision to resign and has given Maya his residential address. When Maya arrives at Dark's residence, he isn't there. However, his wife is, and despite her courteous demeanor, she is concealing information regarding her husband's employment, whereabouts at the moment, and the reason the Burketts have been giving him $9,000 a month for 26 years. After giving her a card so she can contact her if she has an epiphany, Meyer and Shane solve the puzzles at the shooting range. Dark doesn't appear to be wealthy, and the nautical phrase not terra sed aquis, which translates to not by land, but by sea, was decalculated on his automobile. Maya urges Shane to check into Dark and conduct an investigation because she thinks there might be a connection to Andrew's death, which occurred at sea. Abby and Daniel try to infiltrate Bimble after football practice. Yes, the coach is still plainly insane, and they pull it off with comedic ease by playing with the virtual assistant, which asks for their preferred pronouns and the reason for their visit. They go farther into the building, pretending to be an employee's kids, and Alexander Dosman notices them. He promises to answer any questions they may have later and airdrops them to a site they can visit. He knows who they are but says he can't speak to them there. For more, subscribe.